Hey everybody, welcome back to the homestead. My name is Emily. Today I'm doing something that I'm not really excited about doing right now, but it needs to get done. I need to weed out this brassica bed. This bed has done terribly this year. When I originally planted, the very next night we had a hard freeze and it killed most of the plants. So to start off with, not very many plants even survived just being planted. And then bugs were getting in here. I've had an aphid problem that took out most of my kale. It's still going, but I had to pull off most of the foliage and toss it to the chickens. And I even saw a cabbage looper moth inside the netting, which is the whole entire reason I have the netting on there, is to keep the cabbage looper moths out. So the netting's not really doing its job this year, probably because of all the weeds. And I haven't been keeping up with the weeds this year because it's just been so hot. But there are some good things happening in here, and I can highlight those real quick. But mostly I'm going to clear this out, and then I have a new crop of brassicas that's already hardened off, waiting to get planted. And so I'm hoping to get those in the ground soon. This is going to be such a big job getting all the grass and stuff out of here that today might not be the day that those get planted, even though that would be great because it's supposed to rain for the next couple days. It's pretty late in the afternoon. I've already done garden club with the local library for 2 to 3 hours today and harvested in my own garden. So there's not a lot of time left in the day to work on this, but we've got some cloud cover right now, so it's not blaringly hot, but it is pretty warm. And then it's supposed to rain the next 2 days, skip a day and then rain again, I think. And it's supposed to be pretty cool though. Sweatshirt weather all day, possibly. Should we turn the heat on at night? Questionable. It's gonna be really cool, like unseasonably cold. It's been such a weird weather year, but oh well. So I'm gonna get in here, pull all the weeds out, and then there's some potatoes that volunteered in here that I'm going to dig up as well. So I need to get that done before I try to put anything else in here. So this is the kohlrabi, and it is not giving me any kind of bulbs again this year. I think somebody said too much nitrogen is possibly why it's doing this. So maybe I need to fertilize these with something that's not high in nitrogen. We'll see. My broccoli is here. This plant did something. It had some little shoots, and I pulled those off and just ate them in the garden. They were already, oh, there's a little bitty, like a side shoot right there. That's teeny tiny, but they were already trying to open up when they first were noticed. So I just pulled them off and ate them, and it was like a couple tablespoons of broccoli. So I'm hoping that the rest of these will do something now that the weather's going to start cooling off. Maybe I will get some broccoli, maybe I won't, but I'm also planting more broccoli. This is my kale over here. None of my dino kale survived this year, but I have red Russian and the premier kale over there. I have not harvested any for the family. There were aphids all over this, and I just pulled it all off down to just a couple leaves a piece. And look, there's still aphids. So, yuck. I might spray this down with the hose later. But yeah, I haven't harvested anything yet this year. It all went to the chickens so far. Just trying to save it from the aphids. But that's unfortunate. And then we have some cabbage here that is hanging on. They are starting to act like they're going to head up, which this is kind of what they did last year. They just waited and waited, and then I harvested them right before the first frost. So maybe I will get cabbages this year, maybe I won't, because they're not doing fantastic, but they are doing okay. And got nothing in here. Here's a potato plant, so I'll be digging there in a moment. And here's another potato plant. And right there, I thought there was a third one. We'll see. But that is it. I believe I got a total of 2 radishes out of this bed as well. The only 2 radishes I got of all the seeds that I planted this year. But hopefully the fall crop will have a better chance. So let's get started and give them the best go that we can. Have to come back and weed around the kohlrabi and the broccoli, but I got pretty much everything else. The goal here was not perfection. If it was, I would have failed. Look, I found some gladiola, or gladiolus. I guess there's 2, so it'd be gladiola. And then I saw another one over here. This is so weird. I dug up one of these, actually a few of them, the first year in this side of the garden, and I moved one of them over by the fence over there, and it bloomed this year. And gladiola bulbs are not supposed to survive the winter here, so this is kind of strange. I mean, I dug up more of them and just chucked them. I didn't know what they were, but that one was growing, and so I transplanted it because it looked like a flower bulb, and it was. So I'm probably going to transplant these sometime soon over to that same area, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I will get more pretty flowers. Next to the gladiola is potato. I did find a couple radish plants that have gone to seed, and you can eat these pods. These actually look like they're probably a little tough. Yeah, they're too old, but when they first form, they're pretty good. They taste like little radishes. So if you've never done that before, that's something you can do. Unfortunately, these are too tough and they're not going to be any good to eat. And then another potato. So I'm going to go grab a fork and get these potatoes dug out. We'll see what we get. That's it. Well, that was disappointing. The thing about potatoes, carrots, things like that, you never know what you're going to get until you get in there. Unfortunately, this was teeny tiny, but we still have all the potatoes back there behind me that we haven't got into yet. I did send my daughter out, my youngest, one evening to grab just like 4 potatoes for dinner because we didn't have enough in the house already. So those were pretty decent size. She ended up with some yellow potatoes that she brought in the house. So those were definitely basement potatoes. If you were with us when we planted them, those are the ones left over from last year, and they got really long shoots on them, and we planted them just to see if they would grow. And they did grow. So we've got lots of potatoes over there still that we need to dig, and we're going to need to do that pretty soon, probably after this next few days of rain, and then let it dry out before we go dig them up. But now I can get brassicas planted in this bed. I've got some kinds of broccoli and some cabbages. I don't really remember what all I planted, but they are sitting down by the basement door, all hardened off now. I started them in the basement under grow lights because it was so incredibly hot. But now I can get them planted. I'm probably not going to plant them tonight because I need to go in and make dinner. And I really wanted to work on some firewood at some point today. So I will probably be out here. If it's not raining tomorrow morning, I'll be out here tomorrow morning. But as soon as it's not raining and I can get out here, I will get them in the ground. We've got a break in the rain today, and so I'm going to try to get as many of these planted as I can. Honestly, if it starts raining, I'm just going to keep going because I have a small amount of time before I have a commitment that I made today that I need to get ready for. Hopefully the rain will stay away because I'd like to pull out my trifecta fertilizer and put those in each of the holes, and I really don't want that bucket getting rained on. So we'll just see how this goes. Well, I don't know how well you can hear me over the rain, but I am completely drenched. The dogs have hidden away here in the barn with the cats, and the cats are hiding from the dogs from somewhere. But it is pouring. I got everything but like 6 of one kind of cabbage planted. I ran out of space. Look at it coming down, man. It is, it is pouring. But I'm gonna have to go completely change my clothes. Hopefully my rain jacket will be usable for the next thing I have to go do because I have to leave the house for that. But thank you for hanging out with me the last couple days while I got bed prepped and these brassicas planted. I'm really hoping I get a fall crop. This is really the first time I've actually planted a fall garden. In the past, I have started starts, but then they didn't make it. Either cabbage looper moths got them, or I started them way too late and never got them in the ground. But this year, I got them in the ground, and I'm hoping for the best. I'm going to have my frost fabric ready to replace that bug netting, and we'll see what we get. So thanks for coming along, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!